Well, could the monoclonal antibody treatment be a potential game changer? We'll ask that question to a panel of expert doctors joining us. But the other big development that we're tracking today is the new guidelines that have been issued by the Health Ministry for the treatment of COVID in children. Now, these guidelines essentially talk about the fact that the antiviral drug remdesivir is not recommended for children. Steroids should only be given under a hospital setting to moderately severe and critically ill patients, and the government's also said that a 6-minute walk test is something that is recommended for children above the age of 12. To make sense of these new guidelines and also to tell us more about the monoclonal antibody treatment, we have with us Dr. Hemant Deshmukh, the Dean of the KEM Hospital, joining us from Mumbai. Dr. Vikas Maurya, Director and Head Pulmonology, Fortis Hospital, Shalimar Bagh. We also have Dr. Preeti Sharma, Pulmonary Medicine, Super Speciality Hospital, joining us from Mohali in Punjab. Thank you all very much for being with us. I want to begin by asking you, Dr. Deshmukh, first about the new guidelines that have been issued for the treatment of COVID in children. This is extremely important and also very interesting, the timing at which these guidelines are coming.
Yeah, anyway, this is in anticipation to the third COVID wave that is going to sweep across the world, or probably more in India. And taking into consideration the more vulnerable children and children with comorbidities also, these guidelines have been issued so that we are well prepared ahead of first and second waves that we have already experienced. Now, the most talked about 6-minute walk test was also used in adults. And one more thing which was more important is whether the oxygen saturation drops to a significant level after a 6-minute walk test. So these are the children who are more vulnerable, who are more likely to require more oxygen, and who need to be taken care of more securely than the other children at risk. Now, the second most important thing is the oxygen saturation also needs to be measured in supine as well as sitting position as in adults, because any significant drop in the oxygen saturation in children after sitting is significant, and any time a child or any children who are susceptible to COVID are likely to show drop in oxygen saturation on sitting position.
I want to go across to Dr. Vikas Maurya as well. Dr. Maurya, there's been a lot of talk about the third wave in children. The government has now come out and clarified that there is no evidence to suggest that the third wave could potentially hit children harder. Dr. Randeep Guleria issued a very important clarification in the government press conference where he said that children are likely to get COVID just as much as adults, but there's no evidence to suggest that they'll get it more severe or have a chance of being more severely affected in the third wave. Having said that, these new guidelines that have now been issued, especially the advisory on steroids, is interesting.
Yeah, I think it's very important to understand that, what we have seen so far with our experience for, 1.5 years of treating, COVID in India, and I think all over the world with the data which suggests that, the children we have not seen very severe disease in children so far. Though, we know that children may get infected and, they can even transmit the disease to the infection to the other susceptible population. But yes, we don't have any such data that it can cause a severe form of large number of patients. I mean, the children can be infected with severe form of the disease or may lead to the large number of mortality. But, having said that, it's very important to, cover, have some guidelines, to have the rational treatment of, COVID-19 in patients with, the children category of patients. And so that in case, even if they are affected, we can have a proper management and not, going, here and wire and have, to have, complete treatment of children presenting with COVID-19. So in that context, I think that these guidelines are much better for, treating the children population.
Right. I think important guidelines there, and of course, with respect to the remdesivir being given to children or steroids being given to children, I think those are important advisories that have been issued by the government. But I want to just change gear and shift focus to the other big story that we're tracking, which is, Dr. Deshmukh, the monoclonal antibody treatment. It's now widely being discussed and talked about in India. The recent studies, or the recent cases rather, from Gangaram have said that they actually reduce hospital stay. Patients have been discharged, relatively quickly after being given the treatment. What more can you tell us about this treatment?
Basically, monoclonal antibodies are the most promising pharma product. It's actually it's a chemical compound. It's not a drug by itself. And most of the monoclonal antibodies are natural proteins. These are also called as designer antibodies, and they are designed to attack the virus which affects the patient in COVID-19. These basically attach to the molecules and then destroy the COVID virus itself. These are effectively and safely used even in children, and most of them are very expensive. That's why you see a very late entrant of this chemical compound in India. Most of these monoclonal antibodies are or were used in US, where the patients are very rich, because it requires a lot of resources to manufacture them. Because making this monoclonal antibody is quite complex and expensive.
How expensive is it in India right now?
In India, we have something which is called as biosimilars. Our pharma industry is all geared up to have biosimilars in a very cheaper rate to manufacture. And these are basically, a replica of what is used abroad in the rich countries. And this will definitely be affordable to the people in India. But mass production of these monoclonal antibodies is going to be far away. They have specific,
Can you give us a price point? Do we know a price point?
Abroad, the likely treatment can run into lakh of rupees, something to the tune of 5 to 10 lakh of rupees.
Right.
But a biosimilar in India may cost much cheaper, probably, about 10 to 20% of the cost, which is in US or other rich countries in the world.
Dr. Maurya, talking about the monoclonal antibody treatment, given the fact that the price point is high, is it really a game changer? Can the masses have access to treatment like this?
See, first of all, I would like to say that these monoclonal antibodies, obviously they have been used in the US as well. They're basically comprised of, cocktail of a couple of IgG antibodies. For example, right now we have two set of these monoclonal antibodies available. One is bamlanivimab and atezolizumab, and another is casirivimab and imdevimab. So they are being manufactured by Eli Lilly and the Roche companies, and I think the Indian company has also got the license for it, and they are now producing in our country as well. The important thing is that they bind to the spike protein of the virus, and then it prevents their binding to the H receptor and subsequent replication inside the body, and that's why it works in a very early phase, within 7 to 10 days of the illness. And it is being approved for mild to moderate form of the disease for children above 12 years of age and for the body weight of more than 40 kgs. One thing we have to understand that, even in the US, when the first set of anti-cocktail was used, it was found to be very, very useful. But when later on they have the mutation in the virus, the first set of cocktail of antibody was not found to be useful in many of the states.
Okay.
So yes, currently, if you ask me this question, yes, I think it's found to be useful in the patients with COVID-19. But whether it will continue to be useful with the virus changing very rapidly, the mutations are being very rapidly.
So you're saying that the monoclonal antibody treatment currently is specific, say, to the current variant, or are you trying to say that as the virus mutates, the monoclonal antibody treatment efficacy will vary?
Yes. I think, but it has been found that, whenever the virus mutates rapidly and it changes significantly in its composition, it may cause the change in the, the receptor binding domain of the spike protein, and where that it can cause later on with subsequent mutation, it may not be helpful. Right now, yes, it is helpful.
Right.
But it's not that every patient will get, the good response. The response also varies.
Let me quickly get a word from Dr. Preeti Sharma as well. Monoclonal antibody treatment, what's your take on it? Do you think it could be a potential game changer?
Yeah, of course, Rishika. Monoclonal antibodies have come up with a great hope for all of us. So we have seen a lot of mortality in the second wave of India, which was caused by the Delta variant. So we have seen number of patients. We are really projecting at high risk, but also saw so many young patients dying in this. So we are projecting at within initial days of symptoms onset, that is within 10 days of the symptom onset. And if you have a prolonged fever for more than 72 hours, so that means your disease is blooming up. So where that virus replication is going on so much, we need to stop that replication, which could be done with the help of these monoclonal antibodies. So they will act on the spike protein and prevent the further viral replication. Moreover, they are neutralizing antibodies, whatever infection has occurred already. So they're going to neutralize those virus particles.
So it reduces the hospital stay essentially.
Of course. Yeah, of course. These patients who would be turning into a severe category, then there is a lot of money spent on the expenditure spent in the hospital, prolonged ICU stays, prolonged, in fact, risk to life, which is the most severe. So that would be more beneficial to us than using these antibodies.
All right,
so
Dr.
it's going to prevent
right. All right, I'm afraid I'm completely out of time, Dr. Preeti Sharma, but thank you all very much for joining us early this morning. Interesting developments taking place, both as far as the guidelines for children are concerned and, of course, the monoclonal antibody treatment. We'll keep a close watch on all those developments.